Tenants and landlords will have fairer negotiations of lease agreements and a clearer process for resolving disputes under new guidelines on leasing starting June. For instance, tenants not meeting sales or revenue targets won't get kicked out by landlords directly. While it's optional to adopt these guidelines, the government says it will work with stakeholders to legislate the guidelines and make them mandatory. Brandon Tanoto has more.
All government landlords will comply with the new guidelines unless there are statutory obligations that they need to abide by. Minister of State for Trade and Industry Loh Yen Ling made this pledge, adding that the cooperation between tenants and landlords is critical to the long-term survival of businesses.
Major trade associations have also committed that they will abide by this code of conduct, and we hope that many more companies and parties in the retail scene will also follow their example and observe the code of conduct even before the legislation takes effect.
The new code is the culmination of the tussle between landlords and tenants that intensified amid the pandemic. It's also a step up from the voluntary fair tenancy framework launched in 2015. It was developed by a committee comprising landlords like CapitaLand and Fraser's Property Retail and Tenants. They're recommending the government enforce compliance with the code through legislation. The code covers areas like rental structure and pre-termination.
There's some landlords that we know would put into their lease clauses. If for whatever reason, whether it is the tenant's fault or not, the tenant is unable to meet a specific monthly sales or revenue target, landlords give themselves the right to terminate or to kick the tenant out.
Members of the committee say they'll adopt and abide by the code from June 1st. Associations representing landlords in the committee say they'll encourage their members to do likewise.
So what's important for us is that we're going to make sure that the tenants do well, right? But at the end of the day, we're also talking about the productivity of the space. So we monitor the performance of the tenant. We make sure that where they need help, we will help them in terms of marketing support or whatever support that's necessary.
The Association of Small and Medium Enterprises says the challenge lies in education and awareness.
Big organization or the big landlords, those are probably, I think, easier to outreach to, but it's probably the small fragmented micro players that we have to do some effort to outreach to them.
The Code of Conduct applies to retail premises with agreements that start from June. Among other conditions, leases must also carry a term of more than a year.